With so many exciting celebrity engagements popping up recently, people are digging up the celebrity relationships, new and old, that didn't pan out as everyone had hoped. Actress Elisabeth Moss described her only marriage as traumatic and once joked that her ex was impersonating a normal person. The ex in this scenario was Fred Armisen, who you might recognize from SNL or more recently, Wednesday. The man was known for being a good comedic actor and kind of a chameleon of a person, good at impressions. Their wedding was low profile and the marriage, unfortunately, brief. Actually, it might be fortunate that it didn't last very long because it doesn't sound like they were a good match at all. We already mentioned that Moss said the marriage was traumatic for her, but she used other synonyms too, like awful and horrible. Speaking to Page 6 after everything was over, Moss was asked if her and her ex still talked, to which she said, "Oh God, no." Continuing with, "He's so great at doing impersonations, but the greatest impersonation he does is that of a normal person. To me, that sums it up." So she has made her stance on everything very clear. As for Fred, he has said that the split left him heartbroken. On the WTF with Mark Maron podcast, the actor said that he got caught up in it all. He was starstruck by his partner because it's Elisabeth Moss, star of Mad Men. It sounds like the marriage and divorce wasn't a stellar experience for either of them. Britney Spears has not had an easy experience in Hollywood, that is no secret. In fact, very little of her life past a certain point was a secret, especially not her relationships, but none were more reported on and criticized than that of her 55-hour-long marriage. Now, anyone might regret going through the trouble of getting married only to not have it count just 3.5 days later, but this particular situation was a nightmare of epic proportions. Britney had wed a longtime friend of hers, Jason Alexander. She'd known him since she was young, childhood friends to lovers, we love to see it. Only, from the start, it seems like Spears was never really into this being long-term. To start, her wedding look featured jeans and a baseball cap. To explain that fashion choice and also the marriage choice, Britney later explained that this happened after a night of partying. She was trying to be rebellious, she wasn't trying to make a serious union, at least that's what one can gather from her statement with E! News. She said she wasn't really thinking of what she was doing at the time. Britney's team were quick to get an annulment for the pop singer. This 2004 wedding has haunted Britney for pretty much her whole life since, and not even just because the public has a lot of opinions about it, but because Jason Alexander literally cannot let it go, to the point where he literally got arrested. Britney Spears has enough to deal with, she does not need this as well. Jason, to put it plainly, acted unhinged at Britney's 2022 wedding. What was supposed to be an exciting, intimate wedding at home quickly took a turn when Jason literally showed up on Britney's doorstep, going on about their marriage and telling people that he should be there because Britney was his first and only wife. After somehow gaining access to the property, he marched up to security and apparently said, "This is Jason, first husband, here to crash it." Now, with big celebrity incidents like this, details are usually not this public. We often don't really know what went down. If this were a normal situation, all we would know is that a past flame just broke into Britney's home on the day of her wedding. The reason we know so much is because Jason made another bold choice. He live streamed his activities. It's pretty clear that this man really just wanted attention, and probably not Britney. He might be waxing poetic about how she's the only wife he'll ever have, but I don't know. If you really wanted her and not attention, why live stream your exact activities and location and then announce that you want to crash the wedding? Yeah, Jason was arrested after a little scuffle with security, and that's also about when the live stream ended. TMZ reported that the police did escort him off the property and that Britney's lawyer worked with the sheriff's department to get him aggressively prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. NikkiSwift.com reports that in addition to being a nuisance, Jason was also a danger as he was spotted with a knife. Jason ended up being charged with trespassing and battery and was sentenced to 64 days. Britney's wedding did go forward that day despite Jason's attempts. After hearing about a 55-hour marriage, it makes Kim Kardashian's 72-day marriage pale in comparison, but that doesn't mean the drama wasn't there. Kim K married Kris Humphries in 2011 only to file for divorce roughly 2.5 months later. Everyone wanted to know why the high-profile couple was suddenly splitting up, and the answer wasn't easy for anyone to admit, especially for Kim K. A famous clip from her family show Keeping Up with the Kardashians features Kim breaking down because she feels terrible for asking for a divorce after such a short time period, citing the fact that Kris changed his whole life around to make this marriage work, physically moving to be with her, and now it felt like it was for nothing. Humphries even went on record to say that he was 100% in that relationship and it was real to him. Kim filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. She also requested that neither side be granted spousal support. It was clear Humphries held ill will towards the whole situation at first when he seemingly, in response to Kim's filing for divorce, filed his own annulment in which he cited fraud as the reason. He also claimed that he was devastated and that Kim K only wanted to marry him for TV ratings. The event was a big deal and got its own e-special called Kim's Fairy Tale Wedding that was about 4 hours long. Their divorce wasn't finalized until 2013 after Kris withdrew the fraud claim. Even though Kris was in the marriage until the end of the line, Kim later admitted in 2017 while speaking with Andy Cohen on Watch What Happens Live that she knew things weren't going to work out as soon as the honeymoon. Now Kim K's ex is pretty different than some other celebrity exes. He actually does leave her to her business while he carries out his. He said that he doesn't want to associate with this past bit of his life, and for the most part, he's been following that. Movie star Pamela Anderson experienced a pandemic romance that she ended up regretting shortly after getting married. Anderson was in Vancouver when the pandemic started. Her home there was being worked on, and it ended up being the matchmaker, as Pamela's future husband, Dan Hayhurst, was one of the contractors on site. Thanks to the fact that everyone had to stay inside, the pair got to experience the beginnings of their relationship without people poking their nose into everything. The relationship was officially confirmed in September of 2020, but the pair had been together long before that. They eventually wed a few months later on Christmas Eve. It was clear from details about the ceremony and comments from the couple that they both wanted this to work out. A source claiming to be close to the star told People that Pamela goes into everything hoping for the best. She thinks every marriage will be her last. Everything down to the wedding bouquet showed that the actress was in it for the long haul. The different flowers and other plants featured all stood for different types of love. Plus, she married Hayhurst at the home she bought from her grandparents. That was also where her parents got married. So things seemed to be going well. What could have led to that 2022 split? Pamela Anderson sat down for an interview with the Sunday Times in 2023 and explained her position. Apparently, she just came to her senses one day. She said it literally just struck her. She realized that she had romanticized a lot of what happened. She said that everyone was looking good, all the contractors that were here. In her defense, she did go from literally jetting around the world, meeting thousands of people a day, to being stuck in one place with all the same people, and that would cause a shift in anyone's brain. The actress said that one day she just realized that this wasn't what she had wanted and that the marriage was a disaster. She was the one paying for everything, cooking and cleaning for everybody. She said that she just got caught up in this whole thing and began asking herself what she was doing, which that is a glaring sign that you're probably not where you're supposed to be. Thankfully, she was able to get out of the marriage and did so as fast as she could. Looking back during this interview, she acknowledged that she regrets the marriage and said it was stupid. But there were signs that things weren't perfect. Even though we were all trapped inside, the couple still gave some fans details about their home life. They did a joint interview for daily gossip show Loose Women. The interview was of course conducted over video chat, and the couple chose to answer the call from their bed, which can't fault them for that, honestly. During the interview, the couple were asked to talk about what they liked about the other person and why they were attracted to them. Anderson was describing Hayhurst as a good guy, remarked about how handy he was around the house, saying that he was the kind of guy she would have met if she didn't go around the world and get crazy. Hayhurst said that they just couldn't resist each other and then offered to show the camera under the covers if the viewers wanted. Now, giving Pamela Anderson's history, given that her life was severely affected and made extremely difficult after the incident in which her tape was stolen and distributed without her permission, that comment, while clearly meant as a joke, was not a winner with fans, and people did not think it was appropriate. But finally, we have J.Lo. Now, this is not actually about her recent divorce from Ben Affleck. They seem to be on pretty good terms. I'm talking about her very first marriage to actor and model Ohani Noah. He seems to absolutely hate J.Lo, even years after the divorce. He had so much to say about J.Lo that he wrote a whole book, The Unknown Truth, A Passionate Portrait of a Serial Thriller. J.Lo ended up blocking the book's release with a lawsuit in which she was awarded $545,000 in damages. Noah had signed a confidentiality agreement, so releasing the book would directly go against that. Since the book was never actually released, no one knows everything that would have been exposed, but according to nydailynews.com, court documents read that the book was going to claim J.Lo cheated on him. In addition to receiving the money for the damages, J.Lo's ex was also forbidden from criticizing, casting in a negative light, or otherwise disparaging J.Lo. A few years after the book incident, he threatened to release private home videos of the couple on their honeymoon. J.Lo did not want her personal life on display like that and sued the man for $10 million this time. His movie was never made. The couple, they weren't married very long, from 1997 to 1998, about 9 months in total, but things clearly didn't end well. But what do you think? Let us know, and if you're looking for more in the celebrity relationship genre, check out our last video. Thanks for watching. Bye!